Hi, everybody. Craig from URComped here with another special comp travel interview. I'm super excited about this one. I am with Tim Brooks, owner of the Emerald Island Casino in Henderson, Nevada, and now, breaking news, owner of the Rainbow Club Casino as well. So, Tim, welcome.
Thank you. It's great to be with you, Craig.
So, first, I know that you guys are a staple, a lot of locals in Henderson, Nevada, love your casino. I saw you've won numerous awards, but for folks that maybe aren't familiar with it, why don't you tell us about Emerald Island Casino?
I'd be happy to. The Emerald Island Casino was founded by my twin brother Mike and I back in 2003. We opened our door of May of 2003, and you're correct, we do cater primarily almost 100% to the local trade here. We are Nevada's only all-penny casino, which means all of our slot machines, all 454 of them, can be played at a 1 cent denomination. We find that players really like the lower denominations in this market, and we have an award-winning restaurant that's received numerous awards for good food, and we have a full bar, and we just treat our guests like royalty.
So because I want to come back to the penny slot, because I've heard a lot of things that you guys do that are just so unique and what make you special. So I definitely want to come back to the penny slots. But first, why don't we tell us how you and your brother got into the casino business?
I was in the casino business in Reno, Nevada in the mid-90s, and the company that I was working for purchased a casino here in the Henderson market, and I ended up traveling back and forth between Reno and Henderson and decided that I was going to stay in Henderson full-time, so I moved from Reno and ran a casino down here. We had 4 other properties in Reno, but I did make the pilgrimage quite often from Reno to Las Vegas, about 500 miles. Made that drive probably at least 100 times. The loneliest highway in America, but it gives you a lot of time to think when you're on the road. But anyway, to make a long story short, my brother Mike and I had talked about having our own business for years, and then we opened the casino. The company I was with opened a casino here in 1999, and I worked with that company until 2003. My brother Mike and I partnered up, and we found an empty building that was a closed casino, which is now the Emerald Island Casino. And we ended up purchasing the building, and 18 months later, we were open.
And so when you were working for the bigger corporation that owned a few different casinos, were you in a general operations position? Were you marketing, or what were you doing?
Yes, I was actually the CEO of the company, so I had my hands in a lot of the pots, and that's where I really applied my trade and learned a lot about the casino business and really honed in on what the locals want. And it really came to the forefront when I moved to Henderson from Reno. The market here is much larger, and there's just more opportunity. There are obviously more people always bring more money, right, to the game. So we found a niche, and one thing that we have always learned is that service never goes out of style. So we wanted to make it fun for our guests, because if any business that you go to, whether it's a casino, whatever business you enter, if it's not fun, why would you want to go there? So we really made a really concerted effort, not only to make it fun for our guests, but to make it fun for our team.
Now, we interviewed Matt Sodol from Innovation Capital about a month ago, and I asked him the question about, how often do people that are outside of the business come in to the business, acquire a casino? And he says pretty rare, because the licensing requirements and the gaming commission wants to see that you have a team in place, that it's going to be successful. So I was looking forward to hearing your answer about how you got into the casino business. So it sounds like, as CEO of this other company, you could already check a lot of the boxes where the gaming commission knew that you knew how to run an operation.
You're correct. They were familiar with me because I had a previous license as an operator, not as an owner. So I still had to go through the regulatory process to become a full-blown licensee. And my brother Mike had never been licensed before, so that took a little longer because they weren't familiar with him. So they went through the regulatory background checks and asked for a plethora of information from both of us. And it's quite an extensive background check, as well it should be. And I have nothing but good things to say about the Nevada Gaming Control Board and the Commission. They are wonderful partners, and they really keep the integrity of our business at the highest level possible.
Obviously, you had ran a casino business for a while, multi-property. I'm sure there's tons of complexity with that. But was there any surprises as you're opening a casino, starting a business from scratch? I mean, you could talk to us about that.
Well, how long do we have? We have
as long as you want.
As you probably know, Craig, and all your viewers and listeners know, that anytime you get into something and you think you have it wired or you think you have it down pat, there's always things that turn up. So even now with the current licensing at our new casino, things have changed somewhat in the way you provide information in the digital days that we live in. And so, yeah, there's always, every day that you wake up, there's something, I don't want to say a roadblock because there's no such thing as a roadblock in our book, but there's always something new that comes up that you need to address. But it's usually a minor thing that you didn't foresee. And every day is a great day, like I said earlier. So we just hit it head on, and we make the most of what we have, and we're just going to keep going forward. And we look forward to the day that next month when we're able to open our door across the street. The Rainbow Casino is just about 150 feet from our door here at the Emerald Island Casino. So in that respect, it made it very attractive to us because we were able to maybe stay in the same area. And we shared a lot of customers with the Rainbow Club Casino before. We purchased it from the Peppermill Corporation, which is based in Reno, and they were wonderful to work with. They made acquiring it as easy as possible. I mean, nothing's easy in life, but I can't say enough good things about them as well. So we've been inside now. We're doing some soft upgrades on the inside. We're changing the slot mix a bit. We're going to have a different restaurant concept. And then next we'll start on the exterior. So we've got about 30 to 35 days to get that done. So we're ready to go.
Congratulations again on that. And I love the Peppermill in Reno. It's kind of a trip with all the purple everywhere. Was it similar? Was it kind of psychedelic purple everywhere?
When you come, if you ever have the opportunity to come down to see us in Henderson, Nevada at the Rainbow Club or the Emerald Island, you'll see the Rainbow Club is like a mini Peppermill casino. And a lot of their engineers would come down and do upgrades for them, and they bring a lot of their staff down from Reno. And it's really cool inside. I mean, there's not a whole lot that we need to do. Obviously, when any new ownership takes over the business, they want to put their spin on it. But the Peppermill did such a good job. We feel very fortunate that, like I said, just some soft upgrades.
So you mentioned earlier about all your slots are penny slots, and just in this acquisition, you're going to do some changes to the slot mix. So I wonder, so we're in Dallas, and in Oklahoma, I've heard that the WinStar, which is the largest slot count casino in the world, all their machines are leased, from what I understand. And then we've talked to the Venetian, we worked with the Venetian, where I believe, my facts may be wrong, but I remember hearing that they own all their slot machines, or the vast majority of them. So how do you as an owner think about your slot floor lease versus owning machines?
Well, we have 454 slots on our floor. Say, for example, at the Emerald Island Casino, and approximately 75% of those games are owned by us. The other 25% are on a participation or lease to own. So basically what that means is you want to get a new machine and you don't want to put out all the capital before you know that it's going to work or be popular. You work a deal with the slot companies to get them on your floor, and usually it's a 90-day trial period. And then if you decide to buy the games, they take they do a calculation where you can apply some of the revenue that you've gained on those machines toward the purchase. Or if you decide you're not ready to purchase the machines just yet, you can usually work a revenue share with the slot company. Usually it's an 80-20 split. That's a common in this industry, where the casino will keep 20% of the revenue and the gaming manufacturing company, casino will keep 80% and the manufacturer will keep 20% of the revenue.
Gotcha. So you may use that opportunity to keep that, maybe the freshest titles. You come in, you test them out, and if some prove to be home runs, then you'll invest in them.
And over the years, since we opened the Emerald Island Casino, the cost of a new slot machine has more than doubled. So you can imagine that's a big capital expenditure. And for us to lay out that kind of capital all at once is usually not a good thing. Mm-hmm. So we like to reinvest in the business in other ways, but obviously your slot floor is where most of your revenue is generated from. So you want to make sure you have a current slot mix and games that excite the players. So I don't want to say it's scientific, but there's a lot of analysis that goes into the slot machines. It's more than just buying a machine, putting it on the floor, and then praying a lot. We do a lot of that too, but there's a lot of things that come with that. So we do a lot of back house studies, and we look at what they call coin in, which is the amount of play that the game gets. So there's a lot of factors that go into your final decision to actually purchase a game.
Fascinating. And so I heard about you from a friend of mine because I was looking for ideas. I'm like, do you know any like just kind of fun, creative entrepreneurs, small, like just people that are doing their own thing, something unique? And you were the first person he thought of. And I'll tell you after who it was if you'd like to know. But he mentioned you've got ice cream carts that go up and down the aisle, hot dog. Like, tell us about some of the promotions that you guys do.
Well, I'd be happy to. We started giving away food on the floor to our players because our restaurant became so busy, and at certain peak times we'd have a 2 or 3 hour wait. And as much as people wanted to stay and play, they didn't really want to wait that long to eat. So we thought, well, how are we going to entice them to stay a little longer? Because people become hangry, if you will, when they're hungry. And so we got the idea about 10 or 15 years ago. We'll serve them little treats while they're waiting for their table off their machine, and we call them game side delights, and it just morphed into this bigger thing than we ever thought it would be. So every day at certain times of the day, we'll pass out donuts or chili dogs or pizza or tacos, cream puffs, pretzels, anything like that, just to keep food in our players' stomachs, and that alleviates some of their stress from not having to wait so long for a table. We did expand the restaurant back in 2015. We doubled the size of the restaurant, so that definitely helped with wait times. However, we were too far in to take the game side delights away, so it's something that we've become known for. You're right, we do serve ice cream cones and ice cream bars, and especially on a hot day, our players are very appreciative of little things in life. And it goes back to what I said earlier in the interview. If you make it fun for the players, they'll want to come back. And so we always have, what I like to say is that if you come to the Emerald Island and soon the Rainbow, you've all been to Disneyland or Disney World. As soon as you walk through those gates, you don't think about anything but having a good time. I mean, you could have the worst day in your life, but as soon as you walk through the doors, all that goes away for a short period of time. And that's how we want guests to feel here. We want them just to relax and chill for a while.
So smart. It's such a great idea. And it's makes everybody, I mean, it's kind of common to have cocktail service going around. And
oh, yeah.
But food service, it's genius.
Yeah. Well, you know how you feel when you get hungry.
Absolutely. I sure do. So we talked a little bit earlier. I mean, you made a big purchase recently, a big investment, obviously buying a nearby competitor. We talked a little bit about slot machines, deciding what to invest in versus not. So maybe aside from those two, what was the last kind of tough investment decision, you and maybe Jeff were weighing, and you decided to pull the trigger and you're happy you did it?
Well, I can say it wasn't a tough decision, but about 5 years ago, we decided to start a retirement fund for our team. And so that was a big deal for us because we wanted to take care of our team more than anything, because they're our number one asset, and many of them have worked here with us for upwards of 10, 15 years. And they become like family, if you will. And so it's very important to me and my brother that they're well taken care of. And that was not a tough decision, but that was the best decision we ever made.
Oh, that's great. I love hearing about that. And I'm sure your turnover at your casino, I imagine, is quite a bit lower than the industry standard.
I think it is. I'd like to think so. Yeah, I agree with you there. I'm very pleased. I love our team, and I think they have a lot of respect for me. But like I said, without your team, they're your number one asset, and you've got to take care of the people that take care of you. That's for sure. Any whether it's in business or day-to-day life. I mean, when the postman brings your mail to your door, the newspaper guy drops off the paper in your driveway in the morning. It's a service, and you really appreciate that, and you want to thank them, and you want to reward them for their service.
So I think anybody listening will recognize a lot of things that you're doing that big chain operators aren't doing. And but I had this question written down, so I want to ask it anyway. Like, what is something that you think, or actually works that big operators aren't doing, and why don't you think they're doing it?
Well, I think that in the confines of our size casino, for instance, there's a lot more personal touch, and it's hard to get that kind of service, I believe, in a big corporation. So we use our size to our advantage. So if we make a decision that we want to perhaps say, for example, buy a slot machine or put a new item on the menu, we don't have to run it up the corporate flagpole and wait for approval to come down 2 months later. Or I don't know how long that would be, but we can make a decision today as I'm talking to you that we want to put a new sandwich on the menu for lunch today, and we would have it. So if say food trends change, or people give us ideas, or you hear about the latest slot machine that's maybe doing well on a test market somewhere, and you want to get it, well, we can make that decision today. Send over the contract, we'll sign it, and we'll go from there, and we'll get it. We'll try to get things before everybody else. If we, though, there's we kind of do away with that layer of corporate time lapse, if you will.
And you, as a very engaged owner, being there, like
Right.
you said, you can make things happen that maybe at scale of multiple properties, it's tough to.
Yes, right, exactly. I mean, our competitors, and everybody in this industry knows each other. I don't really view them as competitors. I view them as friends and colleagues. But they're big corporations, billion with a B corporations. Some of the people in our valley are the big corporations. So we just have to be very smart. We like to stay under the radar, do our thing, and we know our market. We know that we're 100% locally driven, and we really focus on providing service to our guests.
So you coming from the Reno area, I'm sure you remember the Carano family when they just owned a couple properties, and now all of a sudden El Dorado is the biggest casino company in the world. Now the Brooks you just doubled in size. So tell it, like, do you and your brother, do you think about how, what are your expansion plans? Do you have any grand ambitions, or what do you guys see for the future?
Well, I'll start by saying that when I worked in Reno, I knew the Carano family, and they are a fine family. I would have lunch a couple times a week at one of the restaurants they had at the El Dorado Casino, and they would be in there themselves many times, and they were very personable, good family, and I'm very proud of what they've done, and they deserve everything they've got to this day. And I was tickled to death when I read that they were going to acquire Caesars, because I don't think there's a more deserving family in the industry. And with that said, what was the question about you were going to ask me about what our plans are?
Yeah. What are do you have ambitions? Obviously you've grown in a very local market. It sounds like within a couple 100 feet, but do you have ambitions to continue to expand?
No, I'm going to get through the day today, and you can ask me that question tomorrow. I may have a different answer, but no plans to expand now. Not to say that we won't in the future, but the opportunity that was afforded to us by the Peppermill Corporation, they came to us and offered it us. We developed a nice relationship with them over the past 18 years, just being across the street. And I don't know if that kind of relationship is in there's other casinos close to us. We know them, but at the present time, we've got our hands full. We're happy with what we have. And I think one of the things that some companies do is they try to grow too fast. And if there's a hiccup, then all of a sudden, you're back to square one. So we're not going to get over our skis. We like to sleep at night. We want to take care of the team we have in place. So we have inherited some great team members that we've agreed to hire at the Rainbow Club Casino. So we're just going to feel our way through the waters the next year or so and see how it goes. And if the opportunity presents itself, we'll take a look at it. But right now, I can tell you, when I go home tonight, I'm only going to have one meal, and I'm only going to drive one car when I go home tonight. So, how much do you need, really? I'm happy. I just, the older I get, the more I realize that what's really important for me personally, and I think for the people that I work with, is quality of life. So I don't want to be stressed out all the time and worrying about this, worrying about that. I just want to stay within our wheelhouse and not get in over our skis.
Well, that's a refreshing outlook on life, and I appreciate you saying that. There is one casino, though. I used to live and work. I met my wife in Lake Tahoe, both working at Harrah's. We used to love going to the Lakeside Inn, which was a small local casino that closed down.
I remember.
I would love for you to buy that.
Yeah, so I would love to live in Lake Tahoe. I've been to the Lakeside Casino many times. I think they just closed in March, I believe. They were a casualty of COVID. So
yep.
I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, there are several casinos in our area, not several, but a few that have not reopened yet. And we're just hoping that they can find their footing and get open, because we like not only competing with them, but we like to see the industry survive and thrive. So As far as the Lakeside Inn, somebody I believe will buy it, and somebody will make it. Why don't you buy it, Craig?
Where do I start? How much time you got? Funding, operational experience.
I didn't know you lived in Lake Tahoe. That's a beautiful area, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, we loved it, and someday we'd love to get back. I am curious how much. Actually, if you want to spitball, like, I mean, a property like that, do you have? Because there's so many things that go into a purchase. I said there's real estate and there's all this stuff, but
right.
I mean, what do you think a property like that would go for?
Well, most properties are valued on EBITDA, so there's no EBITDA now. So I think it would probably, and there's value in the non-restricted license. So I'm not familiar with. I know that if it's in Lake Tahoe, the real estate has to be through the roof in value. So I wouldn't even venture to guess at what it could be. But obviously, there's somebody out there that I'm sure is looking at it now and will make a go of it.
So I've just got two more questions for you. I know you're a very busy man.
Let me answer your question. More than I have in my bank account, that's for sure. that's what it'll go for. A lot more.
Well, Caesars went for a lot more than what's in Eldorado's bank account. So there's financial leverage out there. But
like
I know
said
what you mean. You
like I said before, I want to sleep at night if I can.
All right. So anything that you know now that you wish you had realized sooner when you bought the casino or opened?
That's a great question. And I probably, if I knew now if I knew then what I knew now, I probably wouldn't have had the courage to open up my own business. And I'll be honest with you, because we went through some tough times in the beginning, and this is the first business that I've ever owned, and so you learn along the way. And but one thing that we made a decision. Once you make a decision, you don't look back. We just stayed the course, and we were new to the industry in Southern Nevada, and we had to build our clientele one customer at a time. So it's been a labor of love for me and my brother for 18 years. And so I'm not going to lie to you, the first few years were rocky because we had no customer base and we had to prove ourselves to the community. And the Boulder Strip, where we're located, is the most competitive gaming market in the world. So we just put our nose to the grindstone, and somebody told us once, you aren't going to make it, and that's all we needed to hear.
I told you I had two. I've got one more quick question though. I'm doing business with family is tough, or it can be tough. But I'd imagine that you and your brother must have different personalities and for it to work so well. So maybe you could talk about your brother and what are your complementary skill sets?
Yeah, Mike's great. So Mike is a financial mind. He has his degree in finance, and I'm more of a people person. So we complement each other very well. We make a great team. And he's my twin brother. I've known him for 59 years. So we used to share a bedroom when we were kids. So there's not much about each other that we don't know. And we know, I'll tell you one thing, being twin brothers especially, we know all the right buttons to push. And so there's been some challenging times from a business relationship, and also from a family relationship. But over the years, as you mature and you appreciate each other more, I don't think there's any person that I love more than my twin brother. And so it's worked out real well for us. And but I'm not going to say it's been easy.
Well, and I apologize to Mike. I think for some reason I said Jeff earlier when referring to your brother. So
you did.
Sorry,
that's okay. He's been called worse. Don't worry. Probably by me.
All right, last question. So what is your favorite part about owning and running a casino?
Creating jobs and employing people. I really love that. I love being a leader. I love the fact that I'm able to guide our team, and they come to me with questions, and I'm able to provide them answers. And the same token, I go to them and they give me answers too. So I love working with people, and I love our team, and so that's the most rewarding point about me. From a business owner, I would say the best part of my life as a business owner is the day that we're fortunate enough to at some time to write a bonus check for our entire team. That's what makes me happy, to reward them for their service. But money isn't really what drives our team. I think what really drives our team is the environment we've created here, the working atmosphere. And usually, like my dad used to say, if you create a nice environment, the money will follow. And I think that's what's happened here with our team. And so to answer your question, that's the most rewarding part of being in business.
Well, Tim, this has been an absolute pleasure. thank you so much for talking. Your energy and enthusiasm comes across, and I think anybody that's watching is going to want to come visit you.
I
So,
hope so.
so Emerald Island, we'll put the links and everything in the show
Sure.
notes. But where's the best place people can go to get a feel for Emerald Island and come check you out?
Real easy. Emerald Island Casino, all one word. Emerald Island, not Isle. Islandcasino.com. It's our website, and you can call me personally on my office number 702-567-9160, extension 238. I'm like the furniture. I'm always here.
Well, Tim, thank you so much again. I really appreciate your time. This has been a real pleasure for me.
The pleasure's been all mine. You have a great day. Thank you.